Little interesting time today. This is a program being recorded for this Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, and it's on purpose. And it's going to be commercial free here on the internet. So have fun, and you're going to hear 5 great songs from my guest. And for those of you on the radio, it is in 3, 2, well, good Wednesday afternoon, the day before Thanksgiving. So I guess this is Thanksgiving Eve. I'm McKoy on AM 660 and 106.7 in Lincoln, and of course all around the world on KCRO.com. This is Talk of the Heartland, and usually when we have Talk of the Heartland, we talk. Today we're going to talk, but we're also going to play you some great songs from a local composer, a local writer, and all local artists, or instrumentals, right? Musicians, thank you. And this is Pat Osborn, and he has an album, and it is called
The Road Back Home.
And if you want to find this music, it's free. You can download it, you can keep it, you can do whatever you want with it. And it's at littlebirdmusicstudios.com. You'll also find there a Christmas album, and we're going to be talking about those songs and playing some of those for you here over the next month or so.
Yeah, that one's Winter Night, and I hope you enjoy those as we get into the Christmas season.
Oh, I know I will. All right. Today we're going to start out with one of my favorites, Bluegrass Preacher Man. Did you write this?
I did.
Music and
lyrics? Yeah.
And who local plays on it?
Oh, we just got some great musicians. On this, there's a really nice banjo part for you folks that like bluegrass. This ought to tickle your fancy today, but a guy named Stephen O. Hansen from Lincoln has been on the music scene there for a long time, the bluegrass, country, and folk, and he just plays an awesome banjo. The fiddle is by another fellow from Lincoln, Joshua Rector. And he added a whole lot to this. We actually had the mix done and without the fiddle. And we liked it, but just thought it was missing something and asked him to listen to it. And he makes a great addition to the piece. I can't imagine it without the fiddle now. On the dobro and steel guitar, another fellow from Lincoln, Mike McCracken. He was in Nashville for a long time and came back to Lincoln and plays and writes and works down there in the music scene. I've always liked bluegrass. Alison Krauss, it's just one of my favorite all-time bluegrass gals. And I don't know if you remember the soundtrack from Brother, Where Art Thou?
Oh, yeah. Oh, she did that.
What a nice piece. And there's just a whole collection of stuff. But this is about a bluegrass preacher man, and the lyrics are real simple and straightforward. I like to think they're pretty solid, but you got about a minute of intro of just the bluegrass and the instruments before we get to the first vocalist. So hang on, we get there, but this one, Bluegrass Preacher Man.
Here on AM 660, FM 106.7, and all around the world this Thanksgiving Eve on KCRO.com.
Sing a brand new song. 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 Sing a brand new s carrying your troubles and burdens far too long. Jesus died upon the cross that he might pay our ransom. Sing a brand new song. Lift your voice in praise to the only name that's given by which we must be saved. He can cleanse the darkest stain and free you from your bondage. Lift your voice in praise. Jesus came to seek and save the sinner who is lost. The arrogant and proud he turns away. Life is but a vapor. We're here and then we're gone. And then, my friend, there comes a judgment day. What will you say? Savior's call. Repent and seek his mercy, or you can't come at all. The boulevard to hell is wide and paved with good intentions. Hear the Savior's call. Jesus came to seek and save the sinner who is lost. The arrogant and proud he turns away. Life is but a vapor. We're here and then we're gone. And then, my friend, there comes a judgment day. What will you say? Oh, Cinnamon, sing a brand new song. Cinnamon, won't you come along? Oh, Cinnamon, sing a brand new song.
AM 660 and FM 106.7. And, of course, excuse me, all around the world at kcro.com. That is, of course, Pat Osborn. He is local. He writes. He sings. No, you don't sing. You write the lyrics, you write the music, and then you get local artists to play on the songs and also to sing. And this was called Bluegrass Preacher Man.
Right. And the vocalist on this was by Tyler Smith and Sandy Smith. And Tyler had been around on the Omaha music scene for many, many years. I knew him back in the late 70s. He and a guy named Dave Butler were playing at Soul Concern and some of the coffee houses and churches, and it was a duo, just the two guitars and the vocalist. And they were very popular, and Tyler and I remained friends for a number of years. And Sandy, his wife, sang all of the backup on that.
Now, that sounded like you're not friends anymore.
Well, Tyler, we lost him a year ago.
He passed away?
He got COVID and had come through it. And, in fact, they thought he was going to go home the next day and had heart failure. And we lost him. And so he's home in glory now. And I had wanted for a number of years to get him on his vocal on a song, and this one seemed to fit. And I was really happy. We produced this last year, into the summer, and I was so glad that we got this one done before he went home.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Anyway, but he just did a great job on it. Sandy and he met, back when they were young, and it was one of those things. He was more interested than she was, and so,
he pursued.
They went their separate ways, and it was 37 years later.
Really?
They reconnected, and in fact, the little group they put together that was playing, they named 37 Years after that.
Oh, neat.
So,
she doing all right now?
Yeah.
Okay,
She
good.
hasn't gone into doing any more music, but I see her once in a while at church, and she's doing good.
Well, tell her to come on here, and she can sing some Christmas songs with us.
There you go.
All right. As I said before, if you're watching this on social media, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, any of those, then this is a special treat for you, because you not only get to hear but get to see some of the things going on in the studio. So we're going to go right to our next song, Down from Glory. Tell me that.
All right.
Tell me about that song.
All right, this is a little different music style than the bluegrass. We're going from bluegrass to Southern gospel.
Ooh.
And there's a gentleman on here, Justin Payne, does the vocal. And he also has the Justin Payne choir doing the backup on that. And we'll talk about that after we play the song. But this was a whole lot of fun. We put together in the studio, and Tom Ware is a local producer, and he had Warehouse Productions for a number of years, and did the mixing and put this together for us. And this is just a whole lot of fun. Anyway, Down from Glory.
Right here on AM 660, FM 106.7, and on this Thanksgiving Eve, we're around the world on KCRO.com.
Now the Lord looked down from glory, 'cause he heard a sinner pray. Oh, the Lord looked down from glory, 'cause he heard a sinner pray. Reached down to save that sinner who was lost, and washed out all the sins at Calvary's cross. Oh, the Lord brought salvation down, 'cause he heard a sinner pray. Well, now the Lord looked down from glory, 'cause he heard a mother's cry.
you got to like that. I thought maybe for a moment it was the Gaither brothers in here. Man, do I love that song. That is called Down from Glory, and it was written and arranged by Pat Osborn, who's a local songwriter here in Omaha, and some of the people singing and playing on that one too, local.
Yeah. Justin Payne, well known in the black community and more so throughout Omaha. If you went to the Holland on Sunday, you saw him singing in Handel's Messiah. He was the tenor soloist, and he's done that for a number of years. And my understanding was he directed the practices for the choral group this year to get ready for that. Just an awesome musician. Now, this is one of those, I gave him the piano track for this and the chord structure, and he built everything else around that. So all of the orchestration you hear, Justin did. The percussion and the mix was done by Tom Ware, and I told you the backup singers was the Justin Payne Gospel Choir.
Okay.
Well, that gospel choir is all Justin. All of those voices were done by him in the studio. It took about 2 hours and had that all put together. He just an amazing, and what a lot of fun to work with. He just has a big heart. He loves the Lord, and he's one of those guys you love working with people who love what they do, and it just makes everything more fun.
Well, and I've always heard, and that just proves it, that when you sing your own backup, it's perfect harmony.
Yeah.
That's why people are always so amazed when two people create such a beautiful harmony together, because usually it's because they're very closely related, or the one individual does all the parts.
Yeah.
And that was this one. All right, we're coming back. Our next song is Prodigal Son, and you're listening to it here. It's littlebirdmusicstudios.com. And thanks for listening to AM 660, FM 106.7, and all around the world at kcro.com. All right, we're back on this Thanksgiving Eve. I'm with Pat Osborn, and he's brought us more of his great music that he writes and arranges. And some of them are songs that somebody else has done, maybe written, but he rearranges them and gets local artists and musicians to play on them. And a lot of the time, well, it's all faith-based. But this time, and the last one we're going to play, is actually stories from the Bible. And we're going to play Prodigal Son. Tell me a little bit about that one.
Well, that story I think most Christians are familiar with, and a lot of us have lived that story. And so that one just had been kind of percolating for a number of years, and I got the story put together. But this is about the story from the Father's point of view, and a local talent here, Ben Schaefer. He was the worship leader at Westside Church for a number of years, and I got to know Ben. He records and writes. He's just got an awesome vocal. I wanted a voice with a little bit of an edge to this for this tune. Ron Cooley helped with the guitar and that part of the arrangement, and Tim Tyler. And then we've got a Mannheim Steamroller, couple of people on there. Well, Ron and Roxanne Layton. She's from Boston, and she plays the recorder on this. But the lyrics kind of go in a circle. It starts with the son taken off and the father weeping, watching him go, knowing, what's down the road for him. And then he returns, and the father weeps tears of joy. But Ben just did such a great job with the vocal. You want the music and the lyrics to mesh, and to go together. And I think he tells the story very, very well.
All right, from littlebirdmusicstudios.com, which, by the way, all this music is free. We're not trying to sell you anything here because there's nothing for sale. But you can go to littlebirdmusic.com and listen to any of these songs as often as you want. You can download them. You can do whatever you want with them. But remember, it's all about Him, the Lord, our Savior. here at AM 660, 106.7 in Lincoln, and all around the world at kcro.com.
His son packed all his things, and then he said goodbye. He headed down the road to start another life. He was gone. He was gone. Father watched him go, and tears soon filled his eyes. Memories flooded in, and sorrow overcame him, and he cried. Oh, and he cried. Protect my precious son and watch over him wherever he may roam. Protect him as he travels down the road. His son moved far away and soon was living like a king. Gathered lots of friends and the best of everything. His gold could buy. Oh, his gold could buy. But his wild and reckless living one day came to an end. He ran out of money, oh, then he ran out of friends. They said goodbye. They said goodbye. And he had lived his life like there'd be no tomorrow. Tomorrow eventually arrived. He had played the fool, and now he paid the price. The seasons slowly come and fade away. Through many long and sleepless nights he got on his knees to pray. Oh, he would pray. Oh, let me pray. Sank into poverty and lost everything that he owned. 'Twas a destitute but a wiser walked the lonesome road back to his home. He was going home. From afar his father saw him, and he thanked the Lord above, who watched over him and kept his son alive. And he ran out to embrace him, and he cried. And he
Oh, isn't that beautiful? AM 660 on a regional basis. Hello, 6 states around Omaha. We appreciate you listening. And, of course, at FM 106.7 in Lincoln. But you can get us anywhere, anytime, at kcro.com. That is The Prodigal Son. You probably understood that when you heard the story, but it is composed and written by Pat Osborn, who is a local musician and a songwriter here in town. And we thought here on this Thanksgiving Eve, we'd share some great spiritual, Jesus-centered music. And that, of course, is the story from the Bible, Prodigal Son. All right, next song is Through the Storm. Tell us about that, please, Pat.
Well, this one's a little more reflective. We've had some upbeat music today, and this one will dial it down a little bit. And this is written to somebody that's in the middle of a storm, and you may not have an answer. And we all seem to come to that place sometimes more than once in our lives. And this is sung by Elaine Stoner. She's local. I have her vocals on a number of pieces, and she just does a beautiful job with the lyrics. It's tender. It's simple. Again, it's written to somebody that's hurting and just needs the reassurance that the Lord's still there and He hasn't abandoned you, and He's right there in the middle of it with you as you go through it.
All right, here it is, Through the Storm. It's Pat Osborn and littlebirdmusicstudios.com and KCRO.
When the storm clouds roll in and the flood waters rise and turbulent winds seem to drown out your cries, there is one who will help you when the waves rise and fall. He'll go through the deep waters, for He hears when you call. He will watch through the darkness, for He hears when you call. When the sea's angry waves, so dark and so cold, reach into the depths of your soul. When the storm rages on when you can't bear it all. He is touched by your sorrow, for he hears when you call. He's a sure place of refuge, for he hears when you call. When the night seems so long and hope fades away, and you wonder if you will survive, when emotions rage on and you grieve what is gone, he will stay by your side till the sun starts to rise. When the darkness recedes and your tears start to dry, and your wounds which have brought you so low are beginning to heal by the touch of his hand, he will never let you go. Oh child, he loves you so. Dear child, he loves you so.
That was a very beautiful song. Elaine Stoner, man. That, of course, is Through the Storm. If you or someone you know is suffering from a little depression right now because of the holidays or going through something tough, play them that song. Tell them Jesus loves them. And after that song's over, hopefully they'll not only know that, but they'll know they're not alone in their struggles. All right, we're coming back. One song left, and this is one of my favorites. It's also a story from the Bible. It's called Woman at the Well, and you'll hear that here in 2 minutes on AM 660 and 106.7 in Lincoln and all around the world at KCRO. All right, welcome back on this Thanksgiving Eve. Mac McKoy along with Pat Osborn, who is a local writer, you write lyrics and music. I think you should sing on one sometime.
You wouldn't care for it.
Well, I didn't say I'd like it. Then I could make fun of you. I wouldn't do that. All right, and so tell us a little bit about Woman at the Well. I mean, it's got to be one of the top 5 stories in the Bible that people know.
Yeah. And all we're told is that the woman had 5 husbands, and the guy she was living with at the time was not her husband. And that's all we're told about her backstory. So I was trying to think of what would cause that in that culture, in that time. What might be the backstory of that? And I don't know if you have watched The Chosen, Mac. Do you like that series?
I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
They attempt to recreate the backstory of some of those characters in the Bible, and then they meet up with the Lord. And so that's what I tried to do with the song here. And my take on it was that here's a gal that was beautiful and was married for that, and when that ran its course, she was cut loose. And so that was how I managed the backstory, that part of the song. Now, the other part of this in developing the lyrics, I've been involved with the Good News Jail prison ministries for a number of years, and 2 of my friends, Joy Stevens and Eunice Errant Coos now, have been women chaplains at the Douglas County, Sarpy, and Potawatomi County for years. And Joy had a friend that did her master's paper on women in prison, how they get there and all of that. And from that, they developed a training package for women who want to help with women in the jails and some of the things to look for in their markers and how they get there. And one of the things, just almost always, there's early abuse in their lives, almost always, and
physical or sexual abuse.
both.
Yeah.
It's just ugly. And so some of the things in that seminar talk about how to reach them, some of their obstacles. They don't trust anybody. You know, they've been used. They have very, very poor self-image. And yet on the other side of that, sometimes they become hardened so that you can't get to them. So there's a number of those issues in the song. And then where she meets the Lord, it picks up the story that you see in the scriptures. My daughter-in-law, Sarah, sings this one.
Ooh.
And as her father-in-law, I think she does a great job.
Yeah, because you're not biased.
Not at all.
And she's also one of the people who sings at Westside a lot.
Yeah, and once we get to the Christmas music, she's on 3 or 4 of those songs too. So
And
you get to hear her again.
And we'll have some of that Christmas music here for you over this Christmas holiday. And remember, keep Christ in Christmas. Every gift you buy, I'm asking you to have Christ in the middle of it. The easiest way to do that is to go to Divine Truth at 84th and Harrison. It is a massive store, but they have everything you could ever imagine for everybody from newborn to those who have already gone on to glory. So check them out, Divine Truth Christian Bookstore, and so much more at 84th and Harrison. And here is Pat Osborn's Woman at the Well on AM 660, FM 106.7 in Lincoln, and all around the world at KCRO.com.
She was young and beautiful, her heart was full of dreams, but she found out much too early, love's not always what it seems. Painful was a lesson, that's the way when love is blind. He told her that he loved her, then left her far behind. That was long ago and very far away, but the road it set her on led her far astray.